Basketball is the second most played sport in England with 1.5 million monthly participants, second only to football. And historically, Basketball England have struggled to know who those are and service them in a way that's required. From an administrative perspective, our oversight has been limited. We've had very siloed systems in terms of data collection from different local leagues through to our participation programme. So actually galvanising that data from an insight perspective and from managing sport has been difficult. Our previous system did allow us to collect some data and we could understand if someone was playing at a national league level or a local league level, but beyond that it was very difficult to get useful analysis and useful insight. Equally, all the processes to deliver that insight were manual. When we went into looking at a competition management system and membership system, it was important that this would work and operate across every level. Many of those stakeholders were already procuring different systems, so it was important that whatever we brought in would replace those systems, reduce the costs that our clubs and our regions and local leagues were incurring, so actually they could then invest their funds into development of the game, grow basketball participation in their area. It was clear that PlayHQ would come into this with a partnership approach. What has been overwhelmingly brilliant about the collaboration is that we have discussed, all the challenges that we have as an NGB. Very few organisations understand them in the way that PlayHQ do. We went into our partnership with PlayHQ at the start of January. 6 months from project initiation to delivery is an incredibly tight timeline, and given obviously the scale of the project, we had confidence from PlayHQ based on their track record that they would deliver on that, and they certainly have. When we were at the start in preparing for this season with PlayHQ, many of the team spoke to many of the local leagues across the country, and once they understood what Basketball England were delivering and that this would be a service that would benefit those local leagues and competitions that are operating across the country, many of them affiliated to us for the first time in a while. With that, we saw 70 local leagues wanting to use the system within our first year, which is a growth that we hadn't anticipated. And the functionality, the opportunities that it brought, the compliance that it delivers meant that we've already seen a huge amount of growth this year in terms of number of members. The service that we can now provide to our stakeholders is much higher than it's ever been. The efficiencies we've gathered through the integrations PlayHQ have delivered with our learning management platform, our member benefits system, our DBS system, again have reduced a huge amount of manual burden and reduced potential errors in some very important areas such as safeguarding. The Hoops HQ app has been a game changer for us. One app that allows a user to follow not just their own competitions and clubs in their competition and other teams, but follow the whole basketball ecosystem across the whole of the country. It has been a huge benefit to us. Engagement through the app now dwarfs the engagement through our website and other channels. The app is now our core connection between us and our members, and their perception of Basketball England has completely flipped from a governance organisation to a supporter and support for them. Our previous data and insight work, it was largely manual data extracts all done on spreadsheets. At the point where the insight was derived, it was already out of date. With PlayHQ, with a few clicks, we can gather all that insight in real time. The manual hours that were spent by various different team members to get that insight has now been removed, which means they can actually spend more time on supporting the game, supporting our stakeholders, and delivering out in the field. Through the data and insight we will now be gathering from PlayHQ, we will be able to identify where hotspots or potential dry areas for basketball are. It will allow us to make more strategic decisions around where our investments go, how we grow the game. When considering making a change, it's important that you work with the right partner. We needed a solution that could deliver on our requirements for membership and competition management, and it's fair to say there were very few providers in the market that could do both. There was only one we realised that could do them to a very high level, and that was PlayHQ.